So
All
thanks,
right.
Tina, for being here today and helping us once again. So tell me, first impressions of last night?
It is a TV show, and it's become more about the drama than really the golf. And the golf side of things, I think that there was some really good golf played last night. Obviously, Christina didn't perform the way she probably would have liked and kind of collapsed a little bit under the pressure, but somebody had to go home, and unfortunately it was her, and that's
Mhm.
just kind of the way the show is. So.
Well, the big question that's come out of this one, I guess, is why did Sophie not put the pin back in the cup after Christina had putt?
Yeah. After watching the show, I guess she kind of intentionally did it. It seemed. I think that's kind of wrong on Sophie's part as well. I think that's kind of rude, actually. I played with Sophie in the practice round. It was myself, Sophie, Dana, and Susan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I kind of realized Susan had game. Sophie, for the most part, up at this point was just very quiet, didn't really talk too much. She plays European Tour, and obviously, growing up over in Europe, it's a different lifestyle than over in the United States. I tend to be more outgoing, I guess you could say, than Sophie. I think Christina is in herself is a little bit more outgoing as well. And I think that Sophie just has a mentality more of a European Tour player where it's like, okay, you're going to show bad sportsmanship in previous challenges. Well, I'm going to give it right back to you. And to me, two wrongs don't make a right. That's a pet peeve of mine, actually, is when people don't get the pin. If you're playing out an LPGA tour event, obviously you have a caddy. And the way the rule always goes is first girl to putt, the caddy gets the pin. The last girl to putt, the caddy of the girl who was the first girl to putt hands the pin over to the last girl who putts. That's typically the rule. So if you're playing, without a caddy, if you're the closest one, you usually get the pin for the person who's furthest away. And usually, if you're the last one to putt, usually the other person puts the pin in for you. So it was quite funny, but almost kind of in your face type thing that Christina said, is this sportsmanship for you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've been reading your posts, and I saw the post about the golf etiquette with Padre, and I thought that was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basic stuff, and a couple of the girls haven't shown that. Whether it's just Christina being too into the competition not to realize there's common etiquette, or Sophie being like, you do wrong, so I'm gonna get you right back type feeling. Either way, it wasn't right. It's a shame because both are really good players, and it's a shame that their golf is overshadowed by this sort of thing. I think the thing that Sophie probably took the most to heart was the thing that happened with Sam, because Sam and Sophie play on the European Tour together. Obviously, they've known each other for many years. Whether they're friends or not, I'm not 100% sure how close they are. I think she kind of was like, we're the two European Tour girls here, and Christina needs to learn her lesson, that sort of thing. Like European Tour, the Ryder Cup, Europe versus the USA. I think that's kind of how she was viewing it in her head. It seemed to me all of a sudden Sophie became a different person after Sam was eliminated. And it seemed that she let the whole thing of being in Sam's line really get to her. The truth of the matter is, like everybody's probably said, it is a TV show. It's not that it's not real golf. It's definitely golf. You're swinging, you're hitting a ball. But it's not competing in an LPGA event. It's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that wins the big break, you got to give credit to the past winners of the big break, because it's a mentally challenging 2 weeks. I predicted in my exit interview that it would come down to Christina and Lori.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Christina's competitiveness and just being very strong was going to catapult her as the winner. But unfortunately, she didn't, and that's what we're down to now is the final three.
So what was she
Yeah.
like when she showed up?
Yeah, actually, it's funny that, because I've watched, the show, and I've watched her confessional and that sort of stuff, and, she didn't cry on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But what the Golf Channel people had warned us about before she came was she's been crying because of the way that she's been treated, and nobody should be treated that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all like, what has been going on? Because, I was eliminated, right when the stuff probably started. A big reason of why the girls were probably acting the way they were was because this is kind of when people started to realize, okay, does she have correct sportsmanship? When she came, it was kind of awkward for me because the last time I had seen her was the day I was eliminated, and it was the day that she had said, come on, choke, and then celebrated when I missed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is still somewhat fresh in my head because this was only, a couple days ago. And this is when I actually went up to Christina and approached her. She apologized, and we patched things up, and things were fine. We went shopping for Christmas gifts and stuff, and I didn't really know exactly what had happened, but from what she had told me was, nobody should be treated the way that I was treated the last few days. And I felt really bad about it. I thought that really kind of stinks. But, we were kind of prepared that Christina, wasn't treated correctly because obviously we didn't know everything. We weren't there because the Golf Channel people had told us, just bring her in with open arms. And at first when they had said that, I was kind of like, are you kidding me? But then I'm the type of person, like I said, I'm so easygoing that I don't like having grudges. And I thought, what, I'm probably going to see Christina for the next few years out on the Pro Tour. I'd rather it not be awkward between us, and I'd rather, confront her about things that had happened with us. And I did, and things were fine. Things are completely cool.
Do you think the mind games actually affected her play?
I think that sometimes when you are brought down, and then eventually you aren't completely 100% focused on your shot, your swing tends to falter. And I don't know that she would have maybe won it, but I think she probably would have made it further than she did. I think her, competitive drive and just, I think she's the type of player that gets over a ball and says, this ball's going to go right next to the hole, if not in the hole. And I think that she'll go very far with her game because I think she just goes by instincts rather than being a technical player.
Well, next week looks like it's going to be a little less drama and a lot more golf with the three of them. Mm-hmm. Do you have any comments about that, or any comments to close us off today?
I want to say that it's been fun watching every week. Even though I'm not in it anymore, it's fun to sit and see what happened when I wasn't on the other side of the camera. And unfortunately, like I've said 10 times, I wish that the golf would have shown out more than the drama on the show, but that's what makes reality TV. Reality TV, I think that now that we're down to the final three, they all know one another. Sophie's probably the one that is the little bit of the outcast now, just because, Lori and Kim have traveled the past 2 years on the Futures Tour, know one another, and I think that it could be interesting. And you know what? Stuff's happened between Lori and Sophie already, so you don't know really what's going to happen. I have no idea. It should be interesting to see how things pan out if there is any more drama.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching it again and looking forward to talking to you next week all about it.
Thank you. Sounds great.